What's up, guys? This is Michael Makinde, and this is another episode of my weekly analysis where I come to share with you the expectations for the previous week, the results that we had the previous week, as well as our expectations for the new trading week. So, I come in here to look at the charts together to see how far what the charts have been presenting to us and what we're expecting the the market to do in the new trading week. We don't predict per se, we react to what the market does because the market is the market. You are not like seers who prophesy what the market does. We look at the charts and react to what the market is doing. And last week we looked at the charts together and I told us that currently the market has not given us a clear direction and it's a game of patience for now, especially for swing traders who would want to benefit from the long-term price volatility. Currently, I told us last week in my previous episode that the market has not given us a clear direction, so we may wait to see what the news release for NFP and also for CPI. We wait for that to see the direction that the market is going to give. All right. So on US30, before I continue further, please kindly subscribe to this channel, share, like and comment so that this can also reach others and it can help us forex traders to prepare our minds to see what the market is going to do. It's to ensure profitability of all forex traders on this platform. All right, so US30, the candle close for US30 ended up as a spinning top. It ended up as a doji. It's an indecision candle, which is neither here nor there. At the last trading week, the market neither gave us a direction to either go up or go down. And this is what exactly I meant. Okay. So if you look at the candle that ended this last trading week, that is spinning top. This is a doji. When you look at candles and candlestick patterns, a doji is one in which it has very long buying and selling wicks with the body almost closing at the entry price. Sometimes it could be the price closing at the entry price or the body. The body usually is as thin as possible compared to the wicks. Now this is the body. The body is, I color code my candles: buy at the black, the sell candles or the bear candles at the red. Now last week ended up as a bullish doji, really, but there's really nothing like bullish doji. Is a doji. So the body is the full black. Compare the size to the very long buying and the selling wicks. This is an indecision candle. The buyers and the sellers came to a point where nobody won last week. So this must have been a lot of challenge for scalpers and day traders because the market was neither going up or going down. If you enter the market, after a few pips, it goes back up, knocks a lot of people out. So it was going to be a lot of struggle. And that was why I told us that it is a game of patience. It's a game of patience. And the aim is to preserve capital. Okay? All right. So this is the same thing I'm expecting, just as I said. Currently, we don't have an idea. But there are certain things I've put in place to ensure that at least I have an idea of where the market is going. So this is the weekly candle. So I come down to daily. Daily may not show me so much because US30 in the last 2 weeks has been in a range, and it is clear in the candlesticks that we have. Okay, so what I'm expecting is this. I'm going to wait, and it was the same thing I said last week, that I'm going to wait for US30 to break out of this range. If US30 can break out of this range, then I know where it will be going to. Although I'm expecting that the stocks may, for whatever reasons, may come down to retest. So what I'm expecting is this: if US30 is going to come down, I'll need it to break that previous low, okay, then do a retest, come down. This is a very strong support. It needs to break this support if it wants to keep going down. Then do a retest until it touches on this before we may possibly see the final move to the upside. So this is my expectation for US30. For whatever reasons, it may not go this route. So we may see US30 break out of this range, okay, do a retest and give us a new high, whatever the high is going to be. Although I'm expecting that US30 is going to, based on my fib analysis, okay, it's going to reach up to 42,000. It's possible, but whichever way, I would need to be patient for US30 to break outside of this range that you have here. You would need US30 to break out of that. Anything apart from this, I'm staying away from this market. All right, so let's look at GBPUSD. If I break this down to the 4 hourly, it's almost the same thing we've discussed. I would still have to wait for it to break out of that range. I understand, and it was the same thing I said. US30 has been all up and down in the last few weeks. So it's better to stay off and let everything just come out just like I have explained as this. Anything else, you're likely going to struggle even if you're going to scalp. Because it comes down, it goes up, it comes down. It's a whole lot of stress. But for swing traders, for position traders, it's a game of patience, which we all know. The aim is always to preserve capital. Okay, so let's see what GBPUSD is going to do. So in this episode, I will look at US30 as a representative of the indices. Now, NAS 100, S&P 500, German 40 indices, they all move similarly not in the same direction, but in similar direction, but the analyses are different, okay? But you would need to analyze them carefully and see what they are doing, okay? Because at certain times, NAS 100 can go up and US30 is coming down. You just have to be careful. But my analysis on US30 is similar, so you can use that to all gauge that. But currently, I've been focusing more on US30. So this is GBPUSD. Let's go back to the weekly. What happened in the last week? Almost invariably, GBPUSD also ended in a similar pattern. The candlestick closed also as somewhat of a doji, okay? It looked bullish anyways. It looked more bullish than a doji, but it is almost the same as an indecision candle. It was really neither bullish. It was not an engulfing candle, okay? But it was bullish, but not strong bullish. It was obviously not bearish. So last week was a lot of struggle for traders because it was neither going up nor coming down. And so far, GBPUSD has also entered into a range, okay? And until it breaks out of that range, I'm not sure it is advisable anyone goes into the markets for now. Especially that's for swing traders, scalpers, day traders. You could find your profit, you could find some short-term volatility. It happens. But for swing traders like myself, it's currently a game of patience. Now, I drew a trend line, which I explained in the last video. There are two expectations from Gbpusd. Now, this trend line that I drew, sorry, let me go back to the monthly so I can get that trend line very clear. Now, Gbpusd for years has been in a downtrend. So Gbpusd has been making significant lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And all of this started from 2007, okay? So it's been making, this is a high, this is a low, went into a range, and it went into this long range because of the rapid fall, okay? Because of this rapid fall, you don't expect that it keeps falling and falling. It would get into a consolidative phase, try to get itself balanced before it keeps moving downward, okay? So it went into a range, then created somewhat of a lower high here compared to this high. It made a lower high, it made a lower low, then went into a range again, made a lower high, then it made a lower low. So currently Gbpusd has been in a long-term downtrend, okay? Now Gbpusd is in a very difficult situation because it's running to test this bearish trend. It's running to test it again. Now, is it testing? Let's delete this and see. So is it testing? Now, you would also see that the strength of the bulls are fading. Now, look at this bullish engulfing candle. Then the strength of the bulls are fading. The last month really did. Now, this current month, this candle is still reading. I think we're about 2 weeks into this current month. The strength of the bulls are not as much as we expect. So just like I said, we could possibly see, this is on a monthly time frame anyways, but we could see something like this, just as like I said in the previous episode, that Gbpusd could be testing this trend line and fall all the way down. Now remember, I said this is a very strong support, so we could see something like this, then it breaks it forcefully, does a retest before it falls down, okay? We could see something like this happen. This is monthly, so it's something that can take us 2 years for this move to be actualized, okay? Or the bulls are strong enough to say, okay, let's push through. Then maybe they push through, they do a retest. This is a very strong resistance. You could push it down a little, then the bulls are still strong enough to push through before they push to the upside. We could be this pattern. Whichever way, there are still no clear directions for now, even on Gbpusd. So let's see what the daily, I think we looked at the daily the other time. Let's see what he's having for us. But currently, especially with what last week showed us, it's safer to stay away from the market until we get a clear direction. Now, if I want to enter in any trade, this is the daily, what do? I would need it to break and close above the zone first. This is especially for day traders. As a swinger, there's nothing you want to do in this for now, okay? I would want it to close either above or below this, because currently it literally looks like it's in a range as well. So we could see something like this happening. It breaks out of this range, then comes in here, then falls back into this range, break out of this range, then just like we explained earlier, before it moves down. Whichever way, we should expect anything to happen and we will react to it appropriately. Okay, so finally, let us look at Bitcoin. Let's look at BTC USDT Binance. Let's see what we have on Bitcoin. Recently, BTC ETF, the exchange traded funds for BTC, was released. Now, I made an analysis on BTC last week, even though I didn't make it available, and I still have the video. It wasn't posted though, and I said that there's a chance that BTC may fall back to 32,000 despite the news release of the approval of ETF. Now, this is like a case of buying the rumor and selling the news. That's a mantra you should always know. The fact that there was news that Bitcoin ETF was going to be approved meant that people were buying the rumor, and that's what usually happens. The moment the news was released, they pushed it up, took out people's stop loss, and then people sold the rumor. That's why you see this bearish engulfing candle from Bitcoin in the last 3 days. But 3 days ago, this happened, okay? Let's look at the weekly. What do we have on the weekly for BTC, sorry. I have drawn my zones clearly. Now, there's a challenge with Bitcoin now, because on the weekly, there's a strong rejection at this major resistance zone of 47,000. Now, there's a significant push. There's a significant rejection. Now, what can happen to BTC? Now, because prices move from zone to zone, if Bitcoin does not break the $47,000 zone or mark, it's likely going to fall back down to 32,000. This is what can happen. All right, so we've already rejected this, okay? We've already rejected. So it is either it comes back like this, then maybe do a retest, then fall back down to test this trend line, because there's a bullish trend line that's been holding Bitcoin for a while, okay? So it could do that before the bulls pick up the pace to push it all the way to the next zone of about 62,000. Now, this could be the case. But is it possible for Bitcoin to fall back down to about 32,000, fall back to 24,000? Yes, it's a possibility, okay? But we need to know what Bitcoin is doing. Now, currently, how do I wait on Bitcoin? If I come down to let me see my 4 hourly first. I would need BTC to break this zone first. That's the 41,000 zone. Now, if BTC will come crashing down to 32,000, like we have said, I would need Bitcoin to break and close below this zone. Now, Bitcoin can do this. If it breaks below and closes below it, we could see a retest of this before the final push to 32,000. This is a possibility. Then Bitcoin could also reject from here, push back up and make it move up. Now, so the safest way to trade Bitcoin as well is wait for it to break and close below 41,000. Let it do a retest and give a confirmation of the move that it wants to do. Anything apart from this, you risk losing your capital. As far as I'm concerned, I'm always an advocate of risk management, your money management, keeping your capital secured. It is first not what you want to get. It is first how to protect your capital and keep it. So this would be my analysis on US30, Gbpusd, and Bitcoin. So all you crypto traders, I believe you can see my predictions and my advice and advocacy for patience when you're trading this. Currently, we could see a fall to the downside, or we could see a move to the upside. Whichever way, allow it to close below this zone before you enter in for Bitcoin. Thank you so much once again for following me on this channel. I strive to always give quality and valued content on this channel. So please subscribe, share with your friends, comment, like, and I will be glad to make any changes, any improvements that you recommend. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you up in the next episode. Bye, guys.